The Nets are up 48-40 currently with 7 minutes to go in the second.
I'm kind of pulling for the Nets now because if they win, that kind of would have ruined my parlay anyways. It'll make me feel a little better about myself.
There we go.
Yeah.
Bet.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the Mad Dawgs podcast. We are glad you're listening. Thank you for listening. If you're watching on YouTube, thank you for watching. When you are hearing this, it is Thursday, January 13th. We are in the aftermath of the national championship. We are about to have wildcard weekend, and we have a lot of sports coming up in the next few weeks. But sadly, college football is over. And I'm kind of upset because I love Saturdays. I love turning on games. You know, even the most random games we find to enjoy. Even a Miami North Carolina State game on Saturday at 2:30. You know, we like to watch those games. But college football is over. We have a new champion. It is the Georgia Bulldogs. The last two big sports to have national championships are Bulldogs. Obviously, Mississippi State being the one before that. The Georgia Bulldogs won 33-18 over the Alabama Crimson Tide.
It should have been the Wolfpack. Just saying.
Okay.
It would have been. We got lucky.
It would have been.
Yeah, we did. They were the hottest team. We would have been screwed. We would have lost 100%. But it's okay. It was destiny, you know. Speaking of which, I saw I was at Kroger today and I saw Tanner Allen. Tanner Allen was grocery shopping. So there you go. Saw the greatest one of the greatest.
You didn't give him a kiss?
Well, you know, I saw him from afar. COVID, you know, he might have been.
I would have sprinted at him and stuck my tongue down his throat.
Oh, hope he never hears this. All right. Okay, so Georgia won 33-18. And I kind of want to talk about the first half a little bit to kind of start off because if the score was 9-6 at halftime, and it kind of gave me vibes of the LSU Alabama game. Was that 2011 or 2012, the regular season game where LSU beat Alabama 9-6. And, you know, we talk about defensive games. Some of them are boring. I don't think I would classify this one as boring. The way that guys were flying around the field for both teams. And yes, Stetson Bennett looked a little nervous at times, but like how the defense for Georgia and Alabama were flying around the field, they looked like they were having fun, wanting to be there, interrupting plays on both sides. Like I thought it was a very fun first half defensively. And I know a lot of people complained about it on Twitter. And just because of the lack of points, people didn't like it. But I disagree. I thought the first half was phenomenal, and it set up such a good second half.
Yeah, you got to love them defensive games like that. I personally do too.
Yeah.
I love defensive games. So when they came out, it was just straight defense for most of the first half. I was ecstatic. It was what I wanted to see just because I love watching Georgia's defense play. Just some of the kids they got on that team are just amazing.
They're future NFL superstars.
Yeah.
Both teams' defense looked amazing, not just Georgia, though.
Yeah.
Like, dude, it was crazy.
Yeah. Well, and it was kind of like a thing where this is a Heisman winner, right? You have Bryce Young, Heisman winner, arguably the best quarterback in the country. On the other side, you have Stetson Bennett, who coming off a hot game against a good Michigan defense. And both of these offenses could not figure each other out. Like, they couldn't figure the defenses out. And for Alabama's side, it seemed like Will Anderson was in the backfield like every play. It felt like
every single play,
blowing up his linemen, and he was getting to Bryce Young every play. It felt like.
I feel like this is one of the first times we've seen Nick Saban not be able to figure out Kirby Smart.
Yeah.
I mean, sure, they were in a stalemate in the first half, but they came out in the second half and just Georgia looked overall like the better team. And that's honestly, if you go back and look since Kirby Smart's been at Georgia, they've just none of their games have really been all that close. There were one or two, but other than that, Georgia's always fallen way short against Alabama. So I think I don't want to say Nick Saban's starting to fall off, but I think Kirby Smart's finally figured out what he has to do when he's coaching against a coach like Nick Saban and his caliber.
By no means is Nick Saban falling off. This dude And we talked about it before the podcast. I do think Alabama's going to win the national championship next year. I think they'll win. With the amount of starters they have coming back. But we'll talk about the future in a second. The other thing I noticed from the first half was Stetson Bennett just looked lost. He looked nervous. And this is a guy, walk on. He's surrounded by 4 or 5 stars all across the board. He's playing in front of 2 5-stars. So this guy, this kid is like the perfect story for an underdog, right? And he doesn't have a good first half. He makes a couple big throws. But Georgia's almost like one of those teams where if the run game's not going, then the whole offense isn't working. If Zamir White and James Cook aren't doing well, then Stetson Bennett's not going to thrive. In the second half, they did. And that was kind of one of the things that led to their success late in that game. But Stetson Bennett did look nervous. Even on the first play that he took off, he fumbled the ball, and it somehow miraculously bounced right to him. But it was kind of, Georgia fans had to be nervous.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Watching those first 3 plays, you're like, oh my God, this is about to be a rout. They are just going to absolutely curb stomp them. The way he came back, though, especially after that crazy play where the Alabama dude picked that fumble up on the sideline. The way he came back, 3 for 3 for 68 after that?
He went 4 for 4 with 82, I think. Yeah, dude, Stetson Bennett deserves some credit in the second half. One more thing to get into, and I kind of touched on him a little bit earlier, is Will Anderson is the best defensive player in college football, and it's not close. Aiden Hutchinson being at the Heisman ceremony, I get it. He made big plays and big times, but the stats weren't close. I think Will Anderson is, and I really don't think it's close. I think above and beyond Aiden Hutchinson. I think that Will Anderson is the best defensive player in college football. And and on the other side for Georgia, Aiden Hutchinson would blend into that defense with guys like Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Nolan Smith, Lewis Seen, all those guys. Jordan Davis is another one. All those guys are just as good as Aiden Hutchinson. And I don't think Aiden Hutchinson would even be mentioned in the Heisman if he was playing for the Georgia Bulldogs.
Yeah, he's just an outlier on that Michigan team. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
They're not as top heavy. It's him, and he is the top heavy guy on that team, and then it's everybody else right there.
Right. The Georgia defense is, it's elite.
Everybody. Who's that number 11 for Georgia? That cornerback?
I think Lewis Seen is 29, so I'd have to.
He did not get any love last night, but he was the one who won that game for them on all them deflected passes there in the fourth quarter and late third. So, he was, in my opinion, he was the player of the game on defense for them.
Yeah. Also, I will say for Alabama, you do have a pretty good excuse after watching the game. Jameson Williams, John Mechie not playing totally changed that game. Jameson Williams going down, that ugly injury, man, I hate to see that. It was confirmed that it was an ACL. And this is a guy who's supposed to get drafted. This is a guy who's good. NFL wide receiver in the future. I hate to see him go down like that. But I think this was a game ultimately that Georgia. I think Georgia was just the team. This was their year. I think this was their year. I think even with Jameson Williams, Georgia wins. Now with John Mechie too, I think it's a different story. But I think just with Jameson Williams, like if Jameson Williams played that whole game, I think Georgia still finds a way to win. But again,
I don't know. That's a tough one for me.
It is. No, it is.
Because did you see those drop passes though by 84?
Yeah,
I don't know his name.
Oh my God.
Because
one of
you
them
can't tell me Jameson don't catch at least half of those balls thrown his way.
Oh, 100. No, I agree 100% with you.
And those were on some big plays, like second and third longs.
Ja'Cory Brooks tried to make a couple one-handed grabs where he could have easily put his second hand up and caught the ball. I told Avery about it while we were watching it. Another one, 84, missed a dime thrown by Bryce Young. Bryce Young
missed a couple dimes.
God, he's got to be soaking in ice baths for 12 hours a day the next 3 or 4 days. He was on the ground. It seemed like almost every other play.
Yeah. I mean, they were just blowed up Alabama's front. I mean, they couldn't stop anybody on.
They had that
Georgia's
extra guy on the
defense.
edge that was just coming free every single play. And Bryce Young had, 2.5 seconds to get rid of the ball?
Yeah. And, hey, credit to freaking Kirby Smart because he brought somebody different every time. It was Nakobe Dean one time. It was Lewis Seen out of the secondary one time. It's Nolan Smith a couple times. And Nolan Smith, he's outrunning Bryce Young. And Bryce Young is a freaking Heisman quarterback. Nolan Smith is a linebacker. And he's running with Bryce Young.
Bryce Young is an awful runner, though. I will say that. He can throw the hell out of the ball.
He can't run it like Corral Kenny.
I think he's –
No, he can't.
Or Will Rogers, to be honest with you.
Oh, my God. That man does not know how to move out of the pocket.
He gets close to the line of scrimmage and just spazzes.
Yeah, like he's like, oh, I can
really
run.
does.
There's like 30 yards of open field, but I'm just going to lay down right here.
Nah, he might need the oxygen tank if he does.
And that dude needs to learn
I know
how to
I
slide.
would.
I saw him slide a couple times this year, and that man does not know. That man
He
does
just
not know.
falls.
That's
Well,
that's
maybe
going
if
to
he had
be his off-season training, figuring out how to run the ball and figuring out how to slide down.
Guys, we're down to a 2-point game in this next game.
Really?
Yep.
Dang.
He's got a pretty good baseball team he could practice sliding with this year, though.
Yeah, he could.
Yeah,
he could.
true.
Not a pretty good one, the best one.
Baseball season
Oh,
starting soon.
We're
Baseball
repeating.
season starting soon.
Alabama baseball, that's what we are.
Oh, Lord.
You win one national championship.
Everybody has
that?
Yeah, you don't have no Nick Saban coach though. Like
No,
Lamonis
Lamonis is
awesome.
better.
Tell Lamonis
Shut
that.
Lamonis don't show.
Hitch heard me complain for 3 months last year about Lamonis, but I mean, I can't say anything. He did have a great team.
He figured it out, yeah.
Hey,
Arguably two of the best
Jake
hitters in
Mangum-
the SEC.
Jake Mangum said it. He said he was going to take him to Omaha, Warren Manatee.
Yeah, well,
Maybe Jake Mangum is just like a genie.
maybe.
Or a cokehead.
Or
Or both. A cokehead genie.
He's probably the one that gave NC State COVID.
That's probably what it was.
He's like, that's the real threat. Let's get him out of here.
They know they're scared of him. The second half of the game was, I'd say, one of the best second halves we've had in national championship. Like, so
I would say fourth quarter.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you fourth quarter. I'll give you fourth. Yeah, I'll give you that. Dallas also just scored on Seattle, so if you had Dallas, you're feeling pretty good.
I have the spread.
Well, there you go.
So
They're up 5-2.
3?
They're up 5-2. Yep. With a minute 42 left, so y'all are looking good.
And anybody that don't know you're talking about hockey right now is confused as hell.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, not the Cowboys, guys. Don't be ignorant.
Dallas Stars and Seattle Kraken.
Yeah, there you go.
The Kraken.
Not big hockey fans.
The Kraken got cracked tonight.
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
I'm sick of what it pissed me off. No, the fourth quarter, Avon, I do agree. I literally turned over to my dad and said, this is going to be one of those things where it's like 4 2-minute drives in a row and each team scores like every drive. It's going to be like that, which so you had Stetson Bennett. They got the touchdown. How did they score that one? I'm trying to think.
What
Pick 6.
touchdown?
The first touchdown
was a
of the
pick
game.
6.
First touchdown of the game.
I don't even remember.
That was
Stetson
after
Bennett
that
throw?
run, remember? And he had the play action on the third down.
Okay,
down.
okay.
40-yard
Yeah.
pass to Aiden Mitchell.
That's right. Okay.
Mitchell.
Adonai Mitchell. That's right.
Adonai.
Oh, that was the first touchdown?
Yeah, that was the first.
Okay, that was the second touchdown was the play action. Okay.
So he did that. Alabama punts, and then Stetson Bennett, that crazy fumble. That was crazy. That was nuts.
I didn't think there was a chance that was a fumble the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't
until
either.
The referee came out there
I
and
didn't
said it
either.
was
Yeah.
ruled Alabama ball.
I knew it was close, but I didn't know what they would call. So Alabama scores then. At that point, my thought was, that's when I sent the text, can Stetson Bennett win this game? And when I said, hell no. That's when I sent that text. I was wrong. Stetson Bennett
were.
led them right back down the field, and they score. And that was kind of it, man. It was 20 to at that point. It's 19 to 18, and
Alabama goes
the
3 and
next-
out.
yeah, the next drive, Alabama 3 and out, or was that the blocked field goal? The next drive.
That was in the
Okay.
first half.
No, that
Wasn't
was
it?
No.
second half. I think it was third
It was
quarter.
second.
Was it
third
third
quarter.
quarter?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How big was that
Yeah.
though, man?
It was the drop
huge.
pass. The number 84 who dropped that pass. That was a
Was that
dive by
after
Bryce Young.
Jameson got hurt in the second, right?
Second
Yeah.
quarter. Yep.
Second. Okay.
That's
So
a 10-point swing from a missed field goal
yeah,
to allowing a touchdown.
yeah.
Right there.
Well,
Alabama just didn't execute, man. Like Bryce Young, I will say, like if you look at the stats, you say what? No touchdowns, 2 picks. Did he have a touchdown pass?
he had one
Yeah.
touchdown.
Mhm.
Yeah.
One touchdown, 2 picks. Like you look at the stat line, you're like, oh, he had a shitty game. And then, but if you go back and see some of those balls he was dropping in there that just wasn't caught,
Yeah. No,
you would
I
have a whole
agree.
different perspective on the game
You-
or on
you-
his game.
You had to watch the game to really understand that Bryce Young. Okay, so Bryce Young threw the ball 57 times, by the way. So
They
let's
couldn't
get to
run,
that.
man.
35
I've never
of
seen them stop like
57,
that.
370 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. So Bryce Young really didn't have that bad of a game. 2 garbage picks is really what I would do the 2 picks on.
Those were some
One
really
was-
bad reads, though.
Yeah, okay, so I agree. On that point,
Could have been a
You
busted
had
route,
plenty of-
though.
you had plenty of time down the field, I mean, and I don't know who's covering Slade Bolden, and I don't blame him for not trusting like Ja'Cory Brooks and that number 84. But you still have Jaleel Billingsley, you still have Cameron Latu, however you say his last name, because he caught the touchdown. And Bryce Young's throwing these balls down the field. And I'm kind of sitting there wondering, like, you have 2.5 minutes no, you have about 1.5 minutes of game time, and you're on the other side of your 50, and we're throwing 20-yard streaks for some reason.
Yeah, well, when he threw the pick six, how much time was left on the clock? It was like, what, 4 minutes
50
probably?
No.
No,
was it
there was
less than
like
that?
1:06.
Yeah,
left.
it was like a minute left of time.
I guess it was
But
the
I'm
other
pretty sure
pick. The
That
other
one was
pick.
positive Alabama had 2 or 3 timeouts at that point.
Yeah, they had all 3. And
So I don't
they got to the 50-yard line, remember? I think this is
Yeah.
on the first pick. And the way they've been moving the ball was doing those underneath passes.
yeah, and it was
Because they were
working.
guarding the line to gain, and they were sitting on everything. You couldn't pass the ball. Like they had like 7 guys back there.
Mhm.
But he decides he wants to go throw into triple coverage instead of
Yeah.
just taking the 5-yard underneath route where maybe you can actually break a couple tackles and get a good gain. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
at
I
that
don't know.
time, he had like 5 minutes on the clock. I mean,
I
that's
just
plenty of
would
time
like to
score 2
know
touchdowns.
on those plays what the primary read was, because I don't think that's the primary read, unless he made it the primary read of the play. And I just don't think those are smart decisions. And the dude's still young; he's a sophomore. He's going to come back junior. He's going to learn from this, and I just don't like the decisions made by Bryce Young late in that game.
Well,
And again, he's young.
He's a young dude. Not his first big game, because he's played in some big games, but he felt like he had to make plays because Alabama could not run the ball that game. There was
Yeah.
no
No,
other
you're
offense
right.
besides
They were
him.
getting blown up.
I've never seen
Yeah.
Alabama get stuffed like that ever.
Yeah, so he
And you
felt
look
so
at-
pressured to have to make big plays. So
Yeah.
I think that's why you see some of these bad reads.
You look at Brian
That's also
Robinson's
true.
stats, and he only had 68 yards on the ground. You would have thought he
Yeah.
had more, and he didn't. He
I
had
thought he had
68.
less.
He had 21 carries for 68 yards was his stat. I like him out of the backfield as a receiving back. I think they should have found more ways to give it to him, because when he did get in space, no, man, credit to Georgia. They tackled. They didn't miss tackles hardly. Credit to Georgia, because that's one of the best defensive games I've seen played against Alabama as long as I've been watching college football. And they almost played perfect.
I will say though, I think the reason he wasn't in the passing game as much was I noticed he was having to cover a lot of them edge blitzes.
Oh yeah, because I mean, it seemed like
you're kind of
Georgia was
forced
getting
to.
back there every play. Like
Yeah.
I said, Kobe Dean, Quay Walker, Nolan Smith, they were all over the place, dude. It felt like they were just in the backfield every play, and I think Kirby Smart did a fantastic job mixing up looks, mixing up blitzes, mixing up movement on the line. He really did a good. I think he outcoached Saban that game.
In the second half, he for sure did. That's the difference. Or in that fourth quarter. Of course, you have a couple big plays go your way, but to hang in there with Nick Saban for that long, you know.
And we knew a breakthrough was coming. Like, we're sitting there in defense, but there are a couple big plays here and there. I think we knew a breakthrough was coming for one of these teams, and it finally did happen. And it happened to be on the Georgia side. Again, that game could have gone Alabama's way. Georgia could have shut down after that Stetson Bennett fumble where Alabama got the ball in the 15 and scored. They could have shut down. They could have ended it right there, but they didn't. Stetson Bennett had a monstrous fourth quarter. And maybe the stats don't show it as much, but like if you watch the game, you know.
That perfect drive that he had, that's when you knew they were going to win.
Yeah.
I mean, you just felt it.
Yeah. It's like the amount of times it shifted momentum early in that fourth quarter. You know, you have again the Georgia touchdown, Georgia gets momentum. Alabama turns around, scores. Well, Alabama gets a turnover, scores a touchdown, momentum shifts again, and then all of a sudden Georgia drives down the field, momentum shifts again. So, that game was awesome. I really did enjoy every minute of that game. It was close. I like, you know, the two playoff or the two semifinal games weren't close, and we got a close national championship, and it was a great national championship.
Yeah, it was good.
And Georgia covered, so.
Sure.
Georgia covered.
I don't think a lot of college football people enjoyed it because they're not used to seeing two good defenses go at it. Versus the other conferences, you'll see like Ohio State and some other.
They're used to the Ohio. What game was that? Ohio State and
Utah.
Yeah, Utah. They want to see that. Yeah. I mean, that was awesome too. Don't get me wrong, but
yeah, there's different types of games that you can like, you know,
enjoy.
And this one had the best of both worlds if you think about it, because you have defense for the longest time and then offensive explosion playing the game. So
you just don't see two elite defenses go at it like that.
It wasn't like they were running the ball down each other's throat either. Like Bryce Young threw the ball 57 times. Like,
yeah.
You know.
Yeah. As for the future of both of these teams, I want to talk about Alabama first. So Alabama and these two guys are the biggest selling points for me next year. Bryce Young will be back and Will Anderson will be back on this Alabama team. I think Alabama at the moment is returning, 17 of 22 starters on both sides of the football. I personally think Alabama will win a national championship this year. I think they are too good talent-wise and depth-wise, and they were young this year. We don't say that about many Alabama teams. They were so young this year, and they go out and they play in the national championship. If near all of them are coming back, I think they win the national championship next year.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you don't think it'll be them and Georgia at the top again?
No.
I
don't think Georgia will?
Georgia's going to have a 2020 LSU season.
I think it'll be that big of a.
Well, how many games are they winning that year? 6, 7 games?
Yeah.
They're going to win.
I think they won 6 games.
That.
I don't know.
Win more than that.
So my thing about Georgia,
they're in the
SEC.
They are in the East.
Yeah,
you're right. You're right. Yeah, they're in the East.
So my thing about Georgia, the only argument I have is I think this shouldn't even be a debate, but I'm going to say it. That Kirby Smart is way better a coach than Ed Orgeron, right? He's had better recruiting.
Yeah.
He's got better recruiting. He's built the team up a little bit better than Orgeron did. It's not I don't think this is a fluke season. I do, however, think that next year will be a they won't be in the playoff next year. I don't think Georgia will get back to the playoff. However, I do think with the amount of recruits and what Kirby Smart's doing over there, I do think in 2 or 3 years we're going to see Georgia be back in the national playoff picture. Like I think they'll be in the playoff.
Are they losing a lot of guys?
Hold on.
Defensively this year, yeah, they're getting drafted.
Yeah, but he always gets defense though.
That's what
He's
I'm saying.
always had defense. I don't know.
Offensively, I don't really know.
I could say possibly making a crack at it.
It's hard to say because you don't know what JT Daniels can do. Like he's a good quarterback.
Yeah. Is he transferring?
I haven't heard if he is or not. I don't think he is. It's his spot next year, is it not?
No. Well, how old's Stetson Bennett? What's Stetson Bennett? Is he done?
Yeah, he's a senior.
Okay.
Right.
Then
He's a senior, right?
I don't know. If JT Daniels is good. I think we all know that. He's a 5-star. He's going to be good.
I don't see why Georgia wouldn't be able to get in the playoffs next year.
Who are they?
Y'all think anybody else could challenge them?
I mean, I think their toughest game is going to be Oregon at the very beginning of the year next year.
No, it's going to be State.
Yeah, absolutely. They play Auburn every year. That's their West opponent every year.
Yeah.
They play Auburn and State next year.
And I'm not sold on Auburn. I mean, I think they beat Auburn. I mean, they lose Bo Nix.
They got Calzada. I don't know. Auburn's weird.
Calzada did beat Alabama.
That whole thing with Max Williams from LSU going to A&M, Calzada leaving A&M, going to Auburn, and then Bo Nix.
That's weird.
Auburn.
Max Johnson.
Max Johnson, sorry. Yeah.
So is Caleb Williams, I think is what you might have confused. Is he going to USC?
I believe he will.
Probably.
Is that why Boy's leaving? Oh.
Yeah. I saw somebody post on Twitter earlier talking about a hot take. Caleb Williams going to USC. I don't think it's that hot of a take.
I don't think that's
going to happen.
At all.
Well, Jackson Dart's entering the portal, so you would think that he's leaving because Caleb Williams is coming.
Yeah.
Had to go you with that damn jug.
I think it's going to be interesting to see how Nick Saban plays the transfer portal this year.
Yeah. Because Jameson Williams. Go ahead.
We talk about all these teams trying to level out the playing field with the NIL deals, but someone like Nick Saban, they have sponsors out the ass. Yeah. He can abuse that portal as much as he wants to. He's warned them about it. I think it's going to be a problem.
Yeah, but who's going to be in the portal right now that Saban's going to look at and you can start over one of my guys?
I'll tell you one. His name is Mario Williams from Oklahoma, 5-star wide receiver.
Yeah,
and he just watched a national championship where Jameson Williams Mechie didn't play, backups didn't do so hot. He might have another top tier receiver.
I think they'll be back by season next year.
Who?
Williams. Mechie's done. Yeah, they're both.
I think they're both getting drafted. Yeah, I think they're both getting drafted.
Oh, never mind.
These and by the way, these guys, these young guys for Alabama, like Ja'Cory Brooks and the number 84 we talked about, they'll figure it out. They'll be good wide receivers.
Saban will have them on the jugs machine for about 2 hours every day after practice.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Saban will lock him in their basements if they just don't perform.
Is Bryce Robinson coming back? He's a senior, isn't he?
He's a senior, I think. Or junior at least.
He's a senior.
Oh, God. Oh, thank God. That backup they have is pretty good, is he not?
He's not as strong.
Yeah, he's not Brian Robinson.
He's a little quicker.
No, he's quick. Now, Brian Robinson was a backup this year before.
No, he started every game.
Hold on a second.
I think
he was Najee Harris's backup. I do know that.
Yeah, because they were talking about how he had no starts coming into this year, and then he started every game this year.
Mm-hmm. And did great. He was a great running back. Which we expect that from Alabama.
Yeah, okay.
They just pump
Who was
them
that
out.
running back that got hurt for them mid-year? Jace McClellan. So it was. That was the backup. And he got hurt. He played in 2 games, played in 5 games and got hurt.
He might. He's probably going to be the guy next year, probably. Right?
Yeah.
Jace McClellan.
Jace McClellan.
He's
a sophomore.
That sounds right.
He'll be freaking good, won't he?
Yeah, 5'11", 212.
Yeah.
Dang. It's Josh Robinson vibes.
No, Josh Robinson was about 5'6".
5'6",
250.
Yeah. That's a name I miss all the time, man.
Hey, what's the
Ball.
over on this Nets game? Do y'all know?
No, I don't know. It was high.
62-60 at the half.
It was pretty high, I think. It was like in the 220s, I'm pretty sure. Okay. Anything else on college football? Man, what a year. This was a crazy year. I think we can all agree. The playoff games weren't fun, but the national championship was. We had some great games throughout the year. And I I enjoyed watching, I know y'all enjoyed watching Ole Miss, Pedigo and Avon. We enjoyed watching State at times.
I enjoyed watching Will Rogers. I love that offense. That offense is fun to watch.
Will Rogers or Heisman season next year, so I'm excited for it.
He had over 6,000 yards.
Bailey Zappi, holy!
That's what I'm saying. Like Zapp had 5,900 passing yards.
Yeah.
No one talked. Was it 67 touchdowns? Just no one's going to talk about it.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude.
Is that a lot?
He averaged like 500 yards a game pass.
Yeah.
It was like 487 or something.
That sounds like Tony Romo. Holy crap, they're the Cowboys.
Tony Homo, more like.
Gosh, Avery. I haven't heard that in a minute.
Well, that's farewell to college football for a little while, but the transfer portal should get interesting. There's going to be some more coaching stuff that happens. I think we all know that. All right. College football is done. We can wrap it up. Congratulations, Georgia. Congratulations to Kobe Dean, the Southern County boy. Excited to see him get a natty. And now that is 3 of the championships this year that had the Southern County boys involved. Austin Riley with the Braves. Cameron James, Braylon Skinner, Cade Smith, Mississippi State Bulldogs, and then finally the Kobe Dean for the Georgia Bulldogs. So there you go. Southern County, repping. We love it. We love it. All right. Moving on to the UFC. We have not talked about UFC. It's been kind of quiet lately. And, man, they released the schedule for 2022. We got some banger fights coming on early in the year. And I'm sure there will be more added throughout the year. But let's start with UFC Fight Night this weekend. I don't want to butcher his name, but the main event this weekend, the first UFC event of 2022. Okay, so I'm going to see if I can get his name right. If I don't come at me because I didn't practice this. All right. The fight this weekend is Giga Chikadze, who is 14-2, and he's fighting Calvin Kattar, who is 22-5. Sorry, Giga Chikadze. I really hope I didn't mess up your name. I tried my very hardest. Giga.
Wait, what did you say?
Giga.
Or is it Gija?
I don't like saying that.
Gija. I don't know.
Giga Mags.
I don't know. Anyways, that's the fight for this weekend. Chikadze and Kattar. Pedigo, I know you know a little bit more about UFC than I do. I know Hitch does as well. So do y'all have a winner for this fight? Do you think somebody stands out to you a little bit more? And are you excited for this fight? Are you excited for UFC to be back?
I'm always excited to see fights. I don't care who it is. It could be 2 guys off the street. I just want to see people beat the shit out of each other, you know?
This is a true story. This is a true story. Me and Hitch were leaving Wilkie's house one night, and we sat at the sidewalk of the street for 10 minutes waiting for these 2 dudes to fight right outside the car.
And it turned out they were friends.
It turns out they were friends, just yelling at each
other.
other.
They're just fucking with us.
Is that the night that y'all left your keys in my apartment?
Yes.
I was so confused when you came knocking on my back door.
I saw you peek through that window. I was like, oh, he's so sketched out right now.
I was sketched out. It kind of scared me.
I knocked for like 2 minutes.
I know. I was like, I'm scared.
It's probably one of those situations where you're laid on the side of your bed like this. You're like,
yeah, that's exactly what happened. It happened right there.
It was also the night Dylan pissed on his neighbor's doormat.
Oh, that was that night.
That was that night. About 2.5 seconds from getting caught.
Right when I got done, people were walking up the steps. Like I was just like shaking it off. And then I looked down and I heard some voices and I about zipped it up. That'd have been bad.
Yeah, that should be enough content for tonight. We should be able to get off now. Everybody's going to go that story.
What's your take on this fight?
I'm just going to give y'all a little rundown of these guys real quick, just a little background. So Qatar, his last fight was actually in January. He fought Max Holloway, and believe it or not, yeah,
he lost
did.
that fight.
Yeah, it's actually Holloway landed 445 plus significant strikes, which is most in UFC history. And that's the last time Qatar fought. So I'm kind of leading into.
Was it a KO? If it wasn't a KO, I'm taking this 100%.
No, you got to listen to it. So Chikadze, he's on like a nine fight win streak right now. 7 of them coming in the UFC. He beat Cub Swanson and Edson Barbosa in TKOs. And
Barbosa's pretty good.
Yeah. And Cub Swanson ain't no pushover. I mean, he's old, but I mean, he's had a good UFC career.
Yeah.
But so if Chikadze wins this fight, it kind of puts him on track to be the #1 contender for the featherweight championship. So I figure Chikadze's going to win this one. I'm going to say second round KO. That's what I'm going to go with, Chikadze.
Okay. All right.
I'm going for this Calvin dude just because he's American. No offense to whoever that is or whatever country that is.
Big Underdog guy.
He's from Georgia, not Georgia in the United States, like Georgia, the country.
The country, Georgia? That's not even close to America. Where's Chikadze from?
No, Georgia, like the country. Qatar is from the United States.
There's a country named Georgia?
Yeah, my God.
Dude, that's where Stalin's from.
Named Qatar.
Oh, Stalin, like the dictator?
Yeah, Joseph Stalin. Yeah, he's from Georgia.
Oh, this motherfucker might be mean. I might not need to bet on this.
Yeah, I mean, so if looking at,
I don't know, man.
Looking into it, hindsight, I mean, I think I'm gonna.
I love underdogs. We all know the Derek Lewis story.
Derek Lewis should never be an underdog ever.
Well,
unless he's.
I mean, Blades was like the #5 contender. Derek Lewis was like 13.
Yeah, well, Derek Lewis put him on his ass.
And literally hits him like,
he was like,
yeah,
he hits him one time, he's out. I said, he was plus 500 to win. I said, screw it. I mean, it was only $5, but I was ready for it to go down the can,
Yeah.
So freaking hit him with that uppercut, and he freaking stiffened up like a board.
If I'm not mistaken, Derek Lewis had the last fight of the year, didn't he? He knocked out some dude not too long ago.
Was he not the interim champ?
He fought
or
for
belt
it
holder?
and lost.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, but I mean, looking at it in hindsight, I think I'm gonna take a guy that's on a 9-win streak rather than a guy that just lost the last fight.
I think I'm gonna go Calvin. I'm going Calvin. Just go.
It's
USA.
gonna be like a good fight. They're both strikers. They're not grapplers.
Right.
If that dude took 400 significant strikes, I'm taking that dude. If he didn't just get
who was that dude that Sean O'Malley fought that one weekend?
The mustache dude.
No, the dude with the mohawk that had like green hair.
Oh, that was insane, dude.
He took the fight on like 3 days' notice. Yeah, he was taking some fucking licks.
What's the point in having arms if we're gonna have him at your waist the whole game?
A little UFC prediction: Sean O'Malley will have a title at the end of the year.
I hope so, dude.
Yeah.
Dude,
why
are I do have a question. Why are they waiting so long to give him these like big main cards? Like,
I don't know
because he's been on the map for 2 years now.
Yeah.
I mean,
when's his next fight?
Like,
do we know?
No, I don't think it's announced yet. Which he just fought recently, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
A couple months ago.
October, November.
I feel like the whole him fighting these smaller guys right now has something to do when he broke his foot when he was first coming up. You know, he broke his foot like his second or third fight in, and was out for a while.
Well, the dude is electric.
So I'm wondering if this fight right here is like a number one contender fight, because I don't know how Qatar would really deserve that, losing his last fight. Like,
I mean, the dude's 22-5 though.
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good record. It don't matter. I don't think neither one of them's going to beat Volkanovski. That dude's tough. But I guess this fight would be a number one contender fight. I don't know.
Are there any other big fights going on?
Not on that card, no.
Nah, this is just a fight night thing. But
there's Americans in all these fights, and there's some with 2 Americans. I don't know what to do with those.
But maybe this weekend's not good, but next weekend we have an awesome fight headlined by my favorite UFC fighter, Francis Ngannou. He's fighting Gane. I think they both have championships. This is for a unified championship, if I remember correctly.
No, so I think Gane's the interim heavyweight champion. Remember, Ngannou won it and then was supposed to fight and wasn't
So he's
ready.
trying to get it back.
Yeah.
So is he technically the belt holder, or does he have to win this fight to get it back?
He's got to win this fight, I think.
I don't know. It says champion be champion, I think.
I'm not sure how that works because he never lost the heavyweight championship.
Yeah.
But this guy, Gane, come in, and I think he's the one that beat Derek Lewis for the interim heavyweight championship.
Okay.
So I guess this is just like a real champion fight. Who's the actual champion?
So it's almost like the dude with the belt's kind of like the number one contender.
Okay, no,
really?
it says it's Ganu. He is a champion, but it also has a C by Gane's name. So this is just basically whoever wins is the belt holder.
Ngannou's gonna knock him on his ass about 2 minutes in the first.
They have the odds already. Gane is the favorite, -125.
Oh, you were gonna pound the not the favorite. But we're gonna pound the underdog. Pound the underdog on the Ganu.
I need to say how much money I have by then. If my paycheck comes in, we're putting 200 on that.
Whoa.
My God. No way.
Okay, so Ngannou at the moment is 16-3. Gane is 10-0, has not lost yet. I do like Gane. I think he's he's good. He's a young fighter. I think he's going to be around a while. But this is Ngannou's kingdom right now. He's going to rule for a long time. I think he wins this fight. I think this is like one of those fights that I think just goes to decision. I really want him to throw haymakers and try to kill each other.
It's not going to go decision.
I think no way. I don't know why. I just have a feeling.
For entertainment purposes, we need Ngannou to win this fight because I have a feeling if he does, John Jones is about to come up to the heavyweight class.
Agree.
And it's about to be a super fight, and that's going to be one of the best fights in UFC history. So
that'll break box offices or pay-per-view records or whatever, dude. That'd be crazy.
And I don't know who I'd take in that fight.
John Jones.
But yeah, probably John Jones.
I'm sorry. He's a technician, dude. Ngannou's got a lot better technique, but John,
Ngannou is really fun to watch. I like his personality. He's my second favorite personality besides Izzy. You gotta love Izzy.
Dude,
but we'll talk about his fight in a second. But I do have Ngannou winning this one. But I do think Gane is young. He's very good. He's got a lot of potential. He's going to be around. He'll definitely have a championship at some point. I don't think he's ever going to like.
This time will probably come.
Yeah, it's definitely going to come. Dudes, and me and Avery watched a fight of his. I can't remember who he fought, but it was a very boring fight. But I'm trying to remember who he fought.
Is he more of a boxer, wrestler? Which I figure heavyweight, more of a boxer, I would assume.
Yeah.
Was that not when he fought Yawn Blackowitz or however you say his last name?
Maybe.
We're talking about Izzy, right?
No,
Gane. He fought on a fight night, Avery. Yeah, he fought on a fight night.
That.
We turned it on.
It was horrible.
I swear there were like 20. There were like 20 total punches thrown that whole match. I swear to God, there were.
I hate it when they're dancing around. Like, quit wasting my time, dude.
Yeah. So are y'all thinking Ngannou or anybody?
I like Ngannou. He's just a specimen. I think unless he gets snuck, I think he's got to get snuck more than once, like 3 or 4 times before you get him out. I mean, he could have a glass jaw. I don't know.
Yeah.
I haven't seen him really get rocked in any of the fights I've watched, but I still like him for sure.
I don't want to meet the guy that can knock out that man.
Yeah, me neither.
Oh, yeah.
I want to meet Derek Lewis.
Oh God. Okay, so that's kind of the big first one of the year. The next one is UFC 271. The day before the Super Bowl, Israel Adesanya, Robert Whittaker on Saturday, February 12th. I don't know enough about Whittaker, I don't think, because when I started watching, I never really watched Whittaker fight. I do know what Adesanya can do. So I'm not gonna pick somebody in this fight because y'all probably know more about Whittaker than I do.
I've only seen a couple of his.
Obviously, I'm rooting for Izzy.
Whittaker's gonna throw though.
Yeah, but Adesanya, I mean, what's the reach looking like? Do y'all have that pulled up?
I'm looking right now.
Adesanya's reach is what makes him elite.
Okay, what was the first fight?
Ngannou?
When was the first fight? Because this is Adesanya and Whittaker 2. What happened in the first fight?
Adesanya didn't lose.
Adesanya KO'd second round.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're gonna see an Adesanya loss in the next 5 years. It's absolutely insane. I don't understand it.
The reach is 80 inches to 73.5.
Yeah, see, like you can't. Like, how do you compete with that? And he throws like he's so like powerful too. Like it's kind of like how Sean O'Malley is in featherweight.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's so much longer than everybody else. Like you can't get inside.
Oh, what was the fight we watched that he lost? It was Blankwitch, right?
Yeah.
I think that's kind of
I think
that's kind of the blueprint to beat Adesanya, but I don't know if there's anybody in that weight class that's going to be.
No, I agree. See, that's where I kind of think like when he went up the weight class, there are plenty of guys in that weight class. They're just bigger, right? And they can control the ground game. But in this one, in his weight class, dude, no one can even get near him. I mean, he's got 6.5.
If you try to, he's going to catch you with a leg kick.
Exactly.
Or a cross. I mean,
he's explosive. He's fast. He does things, I swear, light speed. You don't even know it's happened. And you're on your back on the mat. And you're like, holy shit, what just happened to me? I like Izzy in this fight just for that. But, you never know. You never know in the UFC. I mean, Nunez lost her last fight. That was crazy. That was
insane.
That was awesome, though. That was a great fight. And, she probably won't lose again ever.
And you don't really expect them to lose until they do.
Yeah.
Like when Anderson Silva got knocked out by Chris Weidman.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this Whittaker dude. He hasn't finished a match. His last 3 matches. He's had 3 matches since his fight with Adesanya, and he couldn't finish any of them. They all went to decision. I don't think he can last in the ring.
You're not going to be able to outstrike Adesanya, and you're not.
No.
It's going to be hard to knock him out. Like that's their only chances if you knock him out or tap him out. I guess.
Yeah.
Y'all know when Whittaker's title run was? I know he had it for a little while.
Been years ago, is it not?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I think he's a little outdated.
That's light heavyweight, right?
Is it light heavyweight or middleweight?
I think it's light heavyweight.
He's been fighting for 10 years.
Middleweight.
Adesanya moved up to light heavyweight, and that's when he got beat, right?
Yeah, he's a middleweight.
Do y'all think if he wins a few more at this weight class, do you think he tries to go up to light heavyweight?
And he's already tried it once.
Yeah, but he wasn't at the weight. He's got to
He'll
get
do
a
it
little.
again.
If he does it again, he'd have to get bigger.
So what I kind of think, I think he's going to win 2 or 3 kind of in his own weight division, and then he's going to be like, look, I need to beat
Kind of like what
somebody
John
else.
Bones did.
Yeah.
Except it was light heavyweight to heavyweight, right?
Yeah.
Correct? Yeah.
I think Adesanya will get 2 or 3 more wins in a row, beat the guys that he wants to beat, and he's going to be like, I'm moving back up. Like I'm going to go back up there. I'm going to fight, and he might win that time. Again, he's got to gain some weight. He's got to figure out the ground game because again, like when he did fight, who was it again?
Yawn,
God, I don't remember his name.
Yawn, you said?
maybe.
I can't remember who he fought. But
We talk about
but
Izzy or Ganu?
Izzy, the last guy he fought when he lost the fight he lost.
That was Blackwitch.
Yeah, that was
Okay.
Yawn.
Blackwitch. Yeah, we watched that fight. Dude.
Okay, yeah.
When he lost that, I mean, I don't think he's ever been in a position where he's had to even be in the ground game. So when he lost that, he's probably kind of shocked. He knew it. I mean, you could see it on his face after the match. It's like he knew he lost. He knew he got, he was on the ground the whole game. But I think he comes out. I think he comes out explosive. I think he knocks Whitaker out. For his second round. Something
You can
like
only
that.
hope. You can
Yeah,
only
we
hope.
can't hold it. All right. Next one. 1 sec. I want to get the date right. The next big one is
February the 2nd.
Covington and
no. Hold up.
I'm excited about that fight, though.
Yeah, we will talk about that.
That's going to
in a
be an
second.
all-out war.
What the hell is up, boys?
Okay. Hey, bud. Hey, buddy. All right. The next one is UFC 272, March 5th, Las Vegas. Sterling versus Yawn. And I don't know. I know Sterling.
Okay.
I watched him playing.
Is this the second fight between them two, right?
This is 2.
Or
Yeah.
This is the one where that first one Yawn got disqualified for kicking this dude in the nuts. Like it was a big controversy. Yeah.
Okay.
So Sterling
Yeah,
shouldn't
okay.
have
Oh,
been
and
kicking
it was barely like clipped him too, didn't it?
Yeah, I think he was acting. So I think Sterling's about to get his ass kicked. Is Yawn's
I
first
don't
name
remember
Peter?
much about these two though.
Is it Peter Yawn? Is that his name?
Yeah, it's Peter. Oh yeah, Peter.
Who spells
Peter
Peter
Yawn.
like that? That dude needs to get his ass beat just for having his name like that.
Oh my.
How hard is it to put one more E in there?
Hard.
They were lazy on the birth certificate.
Yeah, that one is Yawn versus Sterling. That's on March 5th. Again, I've seen Sterling fight a couple times. I think I've seen Yawn fight once, but I think it was the fight against Sterling the first time. I think that's the only time I've watched Yawn fight.
Yeah, so this is a pretty big fight. This is going to be the actual fight. So technically, this is going to be fight number 1.
Okay, so the original date of this was supposed to be last October, but Sterling Sterling had to push it back for a neck injury. So I think I'm on your side, Pettigo. I think Yawn is out for some revenge.
Yeah, I didn't like the whole situation that went down in that first fight. I mean, you can watch it. He hit him. But I think he could have went on. Like, I don't think it was something serious.
Aren't they just supposed to give warnings for that? Unless it's just
That's
that bad?
Well, he said he couldn't continue to fight. Like, it was that bad.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Was it a no contest?
Yeah, like I think they disqualified Yawn, so that's why Sterling's got the title right now.
Imagine getting a loss on your record for that.
It was a nut kick, right? Or was it like an eye poke or something like that? Either way, I mean, I don't think, if I remember correctly, it was like a whole lot of controversy behind it because a lot of people thought he could have.
I think I'm going Yawn too. I think he knocks him out, and I think it's kind of quick. I think
he's on the revenge tour.
Yeah, like he's trying to beat the shit out of Sterling. That's just my opinion. So, all right, the last one. This one got announced yesterday. So when I was kind of writing down things to talk about, literally, I looked at Twitter. This one got added. This one, this one should be good. Masvidal versus Covington. Did I get that last name right? Covington.
Masvidal and Covington. Yeah.
It is a UFC 272, and the date for that is March 5th, same night as Sterling and Yawn. So this is the same night.
That's gonna be
this is gonna be a nice, good night.
Now I know this ain't gonna be like a title fight or nothing, but I'm assuming they're gonna make it 5 rounds just because of the hype behind it.
Yeah,
it is a 5-round fight.
Yeah, Jorge Masvidal, Colby Covington, are going at it.
I think it goes on 5, honestly, too. Masvidal's a hard man to get out.
All main card fights are 5 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
So
I guess they're going to be a co-main event, right? You would assume.
Yeah. These are two guys who have a history with each other. They used to be pretty good friends. They were roommates at one point. These are guys who have a history together, and now these are kind of the fights it's almost like a WWE storyline. Like they hate each other now, and now they want to duke it out, in the octagon. But this is kind of, same night as Sterling and Yawn. This should be a fun night just in general for the first fight. But now on top of that, you have Masvidal and Covington. I don't know who I really like in this one. I think it's going to be more of who's more involved emotionally than the other.
Covington.
Man, I don't
know. Masvidal's ground game is so strong, though. They're kind of two different styles.
I'm more excited about the press conferences than I am the actual fight. These two are going to talk so much trash to each other.
Yeah.
And we're talking about like probably two of the top trash talkers in the game. Outside of like Conor McGregor or somebody. These two can really give it to other people when it comes to talking about them.
I think
now just go ahead.
I think Colby Covington will take this one, just seeing how they've both stacked up against the king of that division right now with Kamaru Usman. I just feel like Colby can.
Covington was the only challenge to Usman, and that was that one fight. That last fight wasn't, but
yeah, this is the little brother fight.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. This is a battle for second best. Little brother, dude. Usman is golly, dude.
Yeah. Just for context, if you don't know, Masvidal is number 11 in that division. Covington is number 2. So
Masvidal's 11.
Yeah, Masvidal is 11. Wow. So, I don't. I don't know.
Probably be early candidate for fight of the year this early into 2022.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be an all-out war.
So I think Colby wins if they're standing up the majority of the time. But if Masvidal controls the ground game, I could see him edging out in this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be an all-out war. I think they're just going to go out there and throw at each other.
No, I don't think so.
I think so.
Well,
I like
because that's obviously Masvidal's strong suit. It's not standing up and boxing. It's getting them on the ground.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that UFC.
I might be getting him mixed up with Khabib. I might be getting him mixed up with Khabib.
Khabib's an all-out wrestler.
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of then, I guess. I get them two mixed up all the time.
Masvidal come up through street fights. Like he was fighting in backyards and stuff, bare knuckles. So,
I wasn't in those backyards.
Both of them's hard to knock out too. So,
yeah, Masvidal don't go down. I say that he was the one that fought Usman, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's the one that Usman absolutely just
like he's never been KO'd, but he absolutely got stunned.
That was nuts.
His life.
I think I watched
body.
that fight. Yeah,
he I definitely had a waterfall spray from his head once he got hit.
I'm almost positive I watched it with y'all.
Yeah, we were in Starkville. Yeah.
Yeah, I was on.
That was
yeah,
in
I have
4306.
Yeah.
I was not there.
Oh. All right. So I'm glad UFC's back. I think we all are. Especially with the the lineup we have for the next couple of months. I think it's going to be awesome. I'm super stoked for next weekend. Ganu and Gain. I think that one's going to be a great fight. Again, I want Ganu to win. That's my dog. Love him. But Gain is good, so I wouldn't be surprised if Gain somehow went out there and found a way to win. But it's UFC any given night. It's how you're feeling that night. All right, moving on to some crazy stuff that happened in the NFL this week. Not crazy. We saw a lot of it coming. A lot of firings. A lot of them much needed. But the first one I want to kind of bring up is not needed in any way, shape, or form. Still think this one is stupid. Don't know what Miami's trying to do. They fired Brian Flores Monday morning. And my main question is why? Why do they do that?
I don't think there's a right answer to that because it's completely wrong. Unless there's like some inside information on something, there's no way you fire that dude after the end of the season he had.
I don't know if it was predetermined. I mean, because he started out 1-7.
He
so
did.
it might have been predetermined halfway through the season, but still, I mean, I think you give him another shot after that. Great way to end the season.
Yeah. Last year they won what 9-10 games, right?
Yeah, I think
last
they
year?
won 7. They won like 7 straight this year, right? Did they not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won 8 of their last 9. Or 7 of their 8 of their last 9.
Yeah.
And they beat the Patriots last week. And
But
so even if you said their schedule sucks, they still beat the Patriots last week, who were playing for an AFC East title.
They didn't beat the AFC East winner both times this season.
That's what I was about to say. They just can't beat that top
twice
dog.
this season.
But the Bills, I mean, they're good. They're really
They're the best team in the AFC East. So, yeah. No, the kind of thing that kind of bothered me is Miami's defense has been stellar this year, like really good at times. And Brian Flores is a defensive guy. He's defensive minded. And I just don't understand what they're going to do now. It's not like, because again, you got to think Tua was out for 3 or 4 games in that 7-game losing streak. Devontae Parker didn't play more than half of the year. Gesicki went out for a little while. Durham Smythe went out for a little while. They don't have a running back. They really don't have a one guy.
Waddle was out for a little bit too, was he not?
Waddle was out for a couple of games. What Brian Flores did in the second half of the season was really, really impressive, regardless of who you played. You know how hard it is to win 8 of 9 in the NFL? It's hard.
Yep.
And to do it with the talent that he had, regardless of who you're playing, Brian Flores deserves another shot, another season at least. Give him a couple draft picks. And I think he was the right guy in Miami. I thought he was a perfect fit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate to see it because it's tough to see a good coach being fired, but it is a good thing for the Texans trying to get rid of Deshaun Watson because Brian Flores was a big voice in not wanting Deshaun. And so that's just another opening for a landing spot for Deshaun. So my Texans can get rid of him.
So kind
Nobody
of
wants the Texans sloppy seconds.
Hey, I think he's better than Tua, but so if he was to end up in Miami,
he is.
It would be
sure.
It would be a 3-team trade probably.
We do know that the NFL is kind of based off like what happens based off your performance. Yep. And Tua did enough to win. I mean, he's not gonna do anything special. So why, if this is predetermined, then it would make a lot of sense. You fire Flores, you're going after Deshaun Watson. At the point where they were probably 1-7 to 3-7 at some point.
Yep.
If it's not predetermined, then you're an idiot. I don't know what you're trying to do. It doesn't make any sense. I think it's stupid. Brian Flores is going to coach in the NFL. That's the cutest dog I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
My dog's dead.
That's tough.
Rip Gunner.
Damn.
God.
Why
I feel bad for laughing, man.
Clip that.
That's how he said it. He does that all the time.
You upset Wilkie.
Got Wilkie in his
I don't even want to
feels.
talk
Everett
anymore, man.
script.
I don't even want to talk anymore.
Okay, on another note, do y'all think Chicago would be a good fit?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I love that fit.
Yeah.
I feel like that makes the most
said.
sense for him, honestly. Damn it,
You get a young quarterback to a young quarterback, so you're not really you go from Tua to Justin Fields, and I think Justin Fields might have a little bit more potential than Tua, with the versatility that Justin Fields has. If you are Chicago, all you really need to do is get all your defensive guys healthy again. You want Khalil Mack at a level where he's an elite superstar. So, and if he's not, then your defense is kind of going to falter, which at times their defense was good this year. There were other times where they just couldn't stop anybody. And I think that Brian Flores would be a good fit. You get a defensive guy on a defensive team who is already previously defensive minded. And you give him Justin Fields. I think you need a couple draft picks again. It's like that with any team that, just fired a head coach. They need a couple draft picks. I think they need another star wide receiver. They have a good running back. They have guys on defense. I think they could work on their defensive line a little bit. But their wide receivers, I mean, Allen Robinson was bad this year, and it wasn't his fault. He just didn't have a good year. And if you get a guy to complement Allen Robinson, like Julio with A.J. Brown, a guy like that, then you got a potential to be pretty good on offense, good enough to win. I like Brian Flores. I thought he was a great coach. Loved him in Miami. I thought he was doing a great job. Again, it's really hard to win 7 straight. And it's not like he lost his last game, so you get a good excuse to get him out of there because he didn't lose his last game. He beat the Patriots his last game. So
he beat the Patriots twice in 1 year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me.
But do y'all think an offensive-minded coach might not be a better fit?
In Miami?
No, Chicago.
Yeah. I mean, maybe.
Because that offense was horrendous. It has been horrendous.
I think anyone besides Nagy is going to get a better fit.
God, Nagy's
How
so
about,
bad.
Yeah.
Nagy is awful. Bad. Like, really bad.
Because it's not like Miami hasn't gone out there and put up 40 or close to 40 on some really good teams.
Defense played good. Defense kept them in games. The only reason they really lost to the Bills that bad that first or second week was because the Bills defense had 2 touchdowns. So I don't think
Comes
Tua
back
played.
to offense.
Tua didn't play either. I think Jacoby Brissett played. This firing doesn't make sense.
Losing to the Jags and Falcons back to back doesn't help either, though.
No, it doesn't. No.
Were they hurt then?
No, Tua started that game.
Tua played. That game was in London. It was in London.
Jacksonville came back and won that game 23-20.
Jet lag got to him.
The field goal. That's
Yeah. So
but they were both 1-5 at that time. So
God.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think Flores will be a good fit in Chicago. As for Chicago, you fire Nagy. I like Flores. You hire Flores. Thank God Nagy's done. Oh my God. Now, how did he last so long? And I did hear Big Cat say, that the Bears have never fired anyone mid-season. And I guess, okay, whatever. But, Nagy is so bad. Nagy should not go coach anywhere.
No.
I don't know. That one will probably – because the Bears do – I've seen all over Twitter today that the Bears are a top candidate for Brian Flores. So I think that one will probably happen. I think we'll see Flores to Chicago.
I think he would have a ball with that defense, man.
He would love it.
Yeah.
They're saying that Doug Peterson from the Eagles is having
That's
an
an
interview with him.
offensive-minded coach right there.
Really, it's so really for the Bears, it's do you want defensive guy or do you want an offensive guy?
Which, I mean, with the talent you have on defense, whatever defensive coordinator he gets is kind of going to be spoiled with it. I mean, it would be really hard to screw that up.
Mm-hmm. Got great guys on that defensive side of the ball when they're healthy. obviously, when they're healthy.
If I was Doug
Quinn-
Peterson, I would take that job.
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah,
Justin Fields
mean,
has a much brighter future than Hurts.
yeah, I
There's a
agree.
much higher ceiling.
Yeah, I agree. You just gotta give him some weapons, man. And Allen Robinson's really good. I love Allen Robinson.
And Mooney kind of came on a little pretty strong there towards the end.
Exactly.
So,
But really, if you think about it, that's the only two guys. I mean, they got good running backs. Montgomery,
you got
and
Montgomery
Herbert.
and Herbert.
Yep, you got a good run game. And then you put Justin Fields in an offense where he can run the option, RPOs, stuff like that. That team could be pretty good on offense.
That'd be a really good fit, I think, too. I don't think you really could go too wrong with either one of them hires.
They need a wide receiver. They need top tier wide receiver, I think. Olave, Garrett Wilson, Jameson Williams, somebody like that. They need to get somebody like that. Staying in the NFC North, the Vikings fired Mike Zimmer. This one's not a shock either. He really didn't. He never impressed me in Minnesota. I mean, again, they were a playoff team. They beat the Packers. I'm like, maybe this team's gonna figure it out. Then they go and freaking lose to the Lions. Their defense is horrible. Kirk Cousins at times doesn't really. I mean, his stats aren't that bad, but he really is. I don't think he's a fit with the weapons that the Vikings have. He's more of a guy who would thrive with a running back, a receiving like Dalvin Cook. But if you have weapons like Justin Jefferson, and, Adam Thielen, KJ
even Osborne is good. Yeah.
You got to use those guys.
You got to have a guy that's willing to. You got to have a guy that's willing to throw bombs.
And he don't do it.
Yep. He's a safe guy.
Yeah.
Alex
I think
Smith,
for the Vikings
2.0.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
don't hate on Alex Smith.
I'm not hating on Alex Smith. I'm just saying he don't go over the top and break the top off, I guess.
I don't think
he don't do anything anymore, but
he's sitting on his couch watching the TV or watching the game from home.
Yeah. This is why I kind of brought up Kirk Cousins of Cleveland, because I feel like that'd be a place where he could do good.
That. I think
you give the ball
really
to Nick Chubb 20 times a game, and then you're back behind him, receiver. You got Kareem Hunt, which, by the way,
you finally have a defense.
Yeah, you have a great defense, and you don't have great wide receivers that you throw bombs to because you don't do that anyways.
Which fits him though.
Yeah, Jarvis Landry, Anthony Schwartz, Donovan Peoples-Jones, guys like that. So
Landry would have 100 catches with Cousins at QB.
Yep.
For sure.
Also, by the way, I just want to say this. Next year, Dearness Johnson should be a starting running back somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good.
Buffalo, Miami, Seattle, somewhere, please. Dude's insane.
Seattle, I could see being the main spot for him.
I mean, somewhere, please. You got to start this dude. If you're not another team, why are you not looking at him anyways? Interesting. No, Zimmer, not a great coach for the Vikings. Very underwhelming throughout the year. When you did get your hopes up for the Vikings, they go and lose a game like to the Lions or somebody. They don't play very good next week. They look good sometimes. Justin Jefferson is a top tier wide receiver, and you have to use him. He should be getting now. I think he was second in yards this year.
I mean, he's getting used.
Receiving. Yeah. But like Thielen wasn't a big. I mean,
he also missed a bunch of games, or Thielen missed the last half of
Thielen
last
did.
2 or 3 games.
Yeah, he did. I just feel like Kirk Cousins will be a better fit elsewhere. For the Vikings, does that mean you draft a QB or do you try to trade Cousins for a QB?
I think you like a trade. I would prefer a trade in that situation.
Yeah, you probably want a more veteran, more.
I would say draft, but there's not. I don't know.
People would be willing to trade for Kirk Cousins, though.
Yeah, but I don't know what you would draft like this year.
Would you trade quarterback for quarterback, or would it be a 3-team trade?
Yeah, you could do that. I mean, it's either or. Like, if you go quarterback for quarterback, then
I don't like that though. I don't like.
yeah,
think
not for
Baker,
Kirk
you
Cousins.
trade
how
for
often do
Baker,
you
you
see-
lose that.
how
You
often
lose
do you
that
see-
trade.
How often do you see quarterback for quarterback trades besides Goff and Stafford? Like when was the last time?
It would be for picks.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't think they're trading
Picks
him
and
here
a
because
couple pieces,
uh,
like mediocre pieces.
mhm.
you know who the backup is?
For who?
For Minnesota.
Yeah,
Mond,
God,
Keelan Mond.
Kellen.
Keelan.
Is it Kellen?
wait.
Yeah, it's Kellen.
Are
He's
you,
actually kind
are
of
you
like the
sure?
third string, really, because Matt, who is the guy that played?
That's what I was about to ask. Who's the guy that started?
Yeah, his either first name or last name started with an M. Like he wasn't the best. I mean, he did okay.
Oh,
but
Sean
Matten
Ma-
wasn't like
Mannion.
yeah,
Mannion?
Yeah,
Mannion.
Mannion. Yeah,
Mannion.
Yeah.
that's right.
But like
I was
Mond
trying to
was
remember.
supposed to be the backup, but like Zimmer hated him.
Yeah,
Zimmer didn't think he was good enough.
yeah. It's stupid.
Mannion
Zimmer
was
went
22 for 36 this year with 189 yards.
Like he didn't do terrible.
No, he didn't. Yeah, but
I
why
mean,
wouldn't
that's not
you
going to
give
win
that
you
game to-
games
Why wouldn't you give that game to Kellen Mond? And
because
just
the
say, hey,
coach
just
said
go
he
out
wasn't.
there?
Zimmer said he wasn't ready.
God, I would be a terrible NFL coach, I guess. I would have a rookie quarterback sitting there and a guy go out for COVID. I'd be like, oh, fuck it. Let's send him out there. Who cares? We're supposed to win. We're supposed to lose this game anyway. If he's really good, then I'm a genius.
Because weren't they eliminated already?
Yeah.
So I mean, what was the point of not playing him? I guess.
Yeah, that was the night they played the Packers. Yeah,
I hope y'all bet the over in this Nets Bulls game.
I didn't. What score?
118-81.
Who's winning?
Nets.
Nets.
Wow.
The
What I
Nets
tell
first-
you, Wilkie.
That's gonna be the
I
first
guess you're
Nets
right.
to
I was
win.
wrong. That is the Nets' first one, to be fair. All right, last one of the firings, I think. Oh, no. This one we're going to touch on real quick because, God, this was long overdue. Joe Judge is gone in New York. Thank God.
Yeah, do you see
I
that
wanted
thing?
him to stay.
Y'all see
I bet
that
you
thing
did.
on Twitter where it like showed somebody like delivering like a bunch of like 30 racks of beer and a bunch of pizza to his place?
Yep. Drowning in
He
his
was-
sorrows.
He is awful.
Or he was celebrating.
That was almost State's next head coach. So you think?
And he
Yeah.
coached.
Wow.
He coached at State.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's a coordinator here.
Yeah.
You think
And
he's
then
coming
I know-
back?
This one,
Man,
why did it take so long?
He can come coach basketball. I trust him more than Ben Howland.
We covered tonight. That's all that matters.
We did cover. I don't know how.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
We went on a big run.
Does this mean Daniel Jones is done in New York? Is this the end of the Jones era?
Hopefully it's Shake Fromm season.
Trade Saquon.
Yeah. Saquon
He's a-
can stay healthy
Saquon-
enough.
Saquon's a bust.
Him and McCaffrey, both.
Yep.
Going. Like,
kind of feel bad for the next guy that's got to coach them guys because that's
I really do.
it's a dumpster fire over there.
Yeah, it is.
Nothing's good in New York at all.
Not even the Mets.
It's a goal, a Meds. Hit the home run, a Meds.
didn't like their coach just get a DUI or something like that? Like not too long ago?
The
They
Mets.
did.
Who?
Mets. Was it the GM or the coach?
I think it was the GM.
The
'Cause They
GM.
just hired a new coach.
Didn't he just get acquitted of that? Wait, acquitted is where like you win the case, right?
Fired Mets GM Zach Scott found not guilty after.
Yeah, and he got
did-
fired. That's
Yeah,
insane.
Sue him.
It sucks.
Damn.
Move
So
the
if-
Mets out of New York.
I don't want to get out of New York anyway, so yeah.
Trade off DeGrom.
Please.
Oh
Didn't
gosh.
Scherzer just sign there?
Yeah, Mets are like favored to
Huh.
win the East now.
That's
Yeah,
been like
Mets
that for the
are gonna
past 4
Mets.
years.
Yeah, that is true.
Mets are
But
gonna Mets.
I mean, it is gonna be Mets gonna be at least top 2 in the East.
Me and Pettigo said the same thing the last 3 years. Man,
Braves
the
and
Mets
Mets.
scare me. And then we get to the All-Star break, we're like, damn, they're frauds.
They can't hit
Again.
at
Hey,
all.
Pego, who do you think's gonna be top 2 in the NL East?
It's going to be the Phillies and the Braves.
No,
Your mom
come
and your
on.
dad.
Don't be nice to hits. It's gonna be the
No,
Braves
it's going to
and
be
the
no.
Mets.
Honestly,
It's always
it's going
us.
to be the
It's
Phillies and the
always
Braves.
us.
Okay, boys.
Always.
It's
Okay,
going to be
boys.
the Phillies and the Braves.
Nope.
Damn,
The
we might not
Nationals-
win division, but we ain't gonna be behind the Mets.
The Nationals are selling.
Javi Baez has a good year every 3 years. This is his year.
If Hector Neris wasn't playing with the Phillies win 10 more games.
Bryce Harper wouldn't play with the Phillies. They win 20 more games. Dude's a disease. He's a team killer.
I mean, dude couldn't even finish high school. His high school team hated him.
I'm just
Made him quit.
throwing it out there. Teams that have
I'd be
traded
depressed
Bryce
if I played
Harper
with
are
Bryce Harper in high school.
teams that have traded or got rid of Bryce. They didn't trade him. He signed, didn't he?
Yeah.
Teams that didn't sign back Bryce Harper the year after he left wins the World Series 100% of the times. It's just
I mean,
proven
his
fact.
high school
I
team
mean,
Wow, they're one for one
it's
on
a
that
proven
one, huh?
fact.
His high
Maybe
school
I should
team
try
won the state championship. His high
Does
school
this go
team won the
back to
state
minor
championship when he
leagues?
quit. Don't fact check it. Don't fact check it. They won it.
Does this go back to like the minor leagues too?
Did he ever play in the minor leagues?
Yeah.
No, he
Blew a
didn't.
kiss.
Yes,
Didn't.
he
He
did.
Barely.
He was
Y'all
like-
don't. I
he
don't
like-
remember him blowing a kiss at that.
Yeah, he
dude?
blew a
No
Yeah,
kiss.
he blew a kiss.
From a 30-year-old.
That was when
Oh,
I fell
that's
in love
ball.
with him.
Oh,
The
so
kid-
Bryce Harper's a creep now too, blowing kisses at people.
Interesting.
He's a
Freaking
yeah.
weirdo.
He was 19. He was figuring out himself.
That's right. That's right. Last team, Broncos. Get rid of Van Gio. I thought they were going to keep him, get a quarterback. They'd just be fine. Got a lot of weapons on offense, really good defense. But they decided to go separate ways. Now they got to find a head coach and a quarterback. Are they looking for an offensive guy or defensive guy to replace?
Offense.
You gotta figure out what to do with the
I
quarterback.
honestly like Peterson there too.
I do
I mean,
like
if you find
that's a good one.
If you find a quarterback, you're set good in Denver because I mean they got a good running back. They have good
They got really good receivers.
Real
good
running backs.
receivers.
Don't they like one of the better pass defenses in the league too?
Yes.
Yes.
They got
They're-
Sertain. They got Simmons. I mean, they are really good on defense.
They're one of the most complete teams. They just don't have a quarterback.
They
Yep.
don't have a quarterback. They can't score.
Broncos running backs who Melvin Gordon and Philip Lindsay.
And
right?
Javante Williams.
Javante. Philip Lindsay.
They got
for
three
Texans.
studs. Oh yeah, they got two studs.
Yeah,
Philip
they got
Lindsay
two
had a good
really
year one year.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
Last
he's just
year.
not there anymore. He's in Miami now.
No, he's
He
in
got
Houston.
traded, I thought he got traded though to Miami.
Oh, I have no clue. I don't give up. He's not our starter. He's not our starting running back, so I don't care. It's Rex Burkhead season, baby.
Oh, y'all drafting Brian Robinson. Yeah, I think Doug Peterson would be good there. I mean, all you gotta do is get a quarterback. I think they should draft a quarterback. Matt Corral and Kenny Pickett, I would imagine, will be gone before they get there. But if Matt Corral is available, why not send them to Denver? You got two really good running backs. You got 4 or 5 really good weapons to throw to. And you got defense to bail you out when you make mistakes. So
Yeah. Ole Miss quarterbacks don't have a good record in Denver, so maybe Corral should just stay away from Denver.
okay,
I agree.
yeah, I guess
That's
you're right.
true. Can I speak about the Texans real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
So we're filming this Wednesday. Gonna be posted Thursday?
Yeah, Thursday.
So either expect Thursday or Friday announcement of David Culley and probably Tim Kelly to be fired. Which in the long run, we are going for Josh McDaniels. I think I'll be satisfied if we get Josh McDaniels. But honestly, it really doesn't matter as if we keep Jack Easterby, our vice president. He's god awful to this team. He needs to be fired, but our owner is a complete idiot. He doesn't know what he's doing with the Texans. He needs to sell the team. Only person that I like executively is Nick Cassiero. He's the only good one that actually wants to win in Houston. But other than that, it doesn't matter about the Texans' future if we keep Jack Easterby.
Yeah, so get rid of everybody. Got it.
Yep.
Yeah,
Get rid of everybody
literally.
except,
Clean house.
except Nick.
Do what the Bears just did.
Yep.
Clean it out.
Clean house.
All right. Yeah, I do. Texans do need to make a coaching change. I'm still pissed that they didn't go after the OC at Kansas City the last offseason where they could have. Yeah, I don't know why they didn't. Deshaun Watson pushed for them. They would have been insane on offense. Maybe you keep Bill O'Brien just ruined that team. I think he did it on purpose, but that's just me. But,
on another note, have y'all seen that about Kellen Moore and Dan Quinn? So Dan Quinn apparently has had like 4, I think, job offers for head coach.
Makes sense.
Y'all think he stays?
Does he want to go to Jacksonville?
He didn't even go for an interview for Jacksonville.
Oh no.
Okay,
I think I heard the Bears on his name too.
Okay, yeah, for Dan Quinn, who is a defensive guy, right? He would love Denver and Chicago, just because he's defensive minded.
I think both of them were on the list.
For Kellen Moore, God, nobody wants to sniff Jacksonville. I don't even know who they're going to get.
Because you got to realize this is the same situation Josh McDaniels is in. Josh McDaniels has been with the offense coordinator for Patriots since 2012.
Yeah,
you don't. It's not that smart for an offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator at a good team, at a good position, to go from a great team to a terrible team and risk being fired in like 2 or 3 years.
Say it.
Then you don't have a job.
You don't have a job. You have to start.
I would be scared to take any of these coaching jobs if I was any of those guys we were talking about. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if you're on the free market right now. You go there, you might just ruin your reputation.
The only one that kind of would be the one that's on my list is Denver.
Yeah.
Even Miami, I think, for Dan Quinn wouldn't be bad.
Miami is probably the best fit.
Because I can't believe that Brian Flores is gone.
Yeah, it would have a little bit better of a supporting cast on offense too.
Yeah.
I just feel
Miami
bad.
and Denver are top right now, I think.
Do you think he still has a bad taste in his mouth after being like with Atlanta last year, and then ended up taking our defensive coordinator job?
No, I don't think so. I think
because it was awful. It was a shit show in Atlanta, and I don't know that he enjoyed being the head coach like he enjoys being a defensive coordinator.
Yeah,
you don't have the stress.
But if you're defensive minded, I think you try to find a defensive minded team, which Denver and Miami both are, which both had defensive head coaches. If Dan Quinn got like a quarterback in Denver, dude, he gets a good offensive coordinator and says, "Yeah, let's roll, let's go."
Yeah.
So, Broncos.
What do y'all think about Kellen Moore to the Jags? I heard he did go for an interview over there the other day.
He would hate his life. God, he would hate his life.
Y'all think there's a possibility in that?
Yeah, I do.
I don't know how I feel about it because Kellen Moore, sometimes I'm like, what the hell are you doing? And then sometimes I'm like,
that's why he's a perfect fit under Mike McCarthy.
That's why, and then sometimes I'm like, you're the most genius human being I've ever seen in my life. So I'm kind of indifferent about him. I'd probably prefer to keep him because we're used to that system, and it obviously is working.
Maybe Kellen Moore to Minnesota and get him a more aggressive quarterback.
That's interesting.
And still, you got to rebuild that defense, man. You got to rebuild that defense. It's terrible.
Yep.
Your best.
I feel like offensive heavy teams though, like that. I feel like they almost need defensive coordinators to kind of balance it out, you know.
Yeah, you do.
So
all right, that's our NFL talk for the day. Again, wildcard weekend's coming up this week. Going to be awesome. Going all the way till Monday. Should be a lot of fun. And as soon, a lot of these guys are going to find head coaches. I feel like relatively soon. But yeah, Avery. Now is the time. We're going to talk a little bit F1. There's been some controversy, some bullshit controversy in F1 right now, with the greatest racer of all time that's ever been on a track in F1, Lewis Hamilton. Avery, can you kind of explain what's going on there? Because you explained it better than I did.
Yes, I sure can. So this past month in December was the finale of the 2021 F1 season. Going into the final race, Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen were tied in points, which you earn points by winning races, getting the fastest lap, winning sprint races, things like that. So going into the final race, it was obviously things were really hectic. There were a lot of questions being asked. Could this be the first time since God knows when? I think it was 2016 since Lewis Hamilton hadn't won the World Drivers' Championship. And you got him. He's 37 going on 38 this year, which for racing, that's pretty old, especially for Formula One. And then you have Max Verstappen, who's relatively new on the scene at 23. He started about 2016, 2017. He won his first race that year. But so a lot of, as the race went on, we saw Lewis Hamilton really pull away from the rest of the pack. I think at a point he had a 14-second lead on Max Verstappen, who was in second. And then, I'm trying to remember who it was. I believe it was Esteban Ocon with about 12 laps to go, lost control of his car and coming out of a corner. He just gassed it too hard. So they called a safety car. And for some reason, which it is allowed, the race stewards who are kind of in control of the race, they enforce the rules. They look back on replays, make sure nothing gets out of hand. They let the cars that were down a lap the safety car queue, basically restarting the entire race with 1 lap left. Now, the main controversy wasn't the fact that they let the lapped cars unlap themselves. It's that how late they waited to unlap those cars. It allowed most of the grid, most of the drivers to go in and pit and get new tires while Lewis Hamilton was still on his tires, which if you don't know much about Formula One, there are 3 different tire compounds. There's hard, soft, and medium. Soft being the fastest, medium being moderate, and hard being the slowest, which the hardest ones give you more traction at the expense of your lap times. But Lewis was still out there on old hards, and most of the pack had new softs or new mediums on. So going into the final race, it completely eliminated Lewis Hamilton's lead, which ultimately allowed Max Verstappen to overtake him in the last lap and take the Drivers' Championship. So what's been going on lately, ever since the day before that race, Lewis Hamilton has been completely off of social media. He has had no social media presence, no presence outside, really in the outside world. No one's really seen him. Well, come to find out, this week he's actually been meeting with race stewards from that Grand Prix in December, and depending on how that conversation goes is going to dictate whether or not he's going to retire from the sport. And now, mind you, he is tied for the most drivers' championships with Michael Schumacher, who, being really the poster boy for Formula One, even if you don't pay attention to Formula One or you know a little bit about it, everybody who knows anything about Formula One knows who Michael Schumacher is. And there's a lot of controversy surrounding that. A lot of people think that the stewards rigged it so that Max Verstappen would win the championship so that Lewis Hamilton couldn't overtake Michael Schumacher as the driver with the most world championships. And it's been a whole fiasco this past month.
This is not a debate. Lewis Hamilton is the best F1 driver of all time, and I don't think it's relatively close. The dude should have had 8 this year. Verstappen, me and Avery love Verstappen. We are super excited that he won, but 100% that probably he shouldn't have won. The controversy that's happening is, I think, disgusting for the sport, because Lewis Hamilton, a lot of the young audience for F1 knows who that is. If you're going to get into F1, you're going to learn the name Lewis Hamilton. And the fact that he doesn't hold the record right now is, I think, borderline gross. I think he should have had 8. He should have won his 8th this year. He is the greatest F1 driver of all time. What he's done in F1 for the last, Avery, 15 years?
Yeah, he started in 2007, and he came
14,
in second.
15 years.
His rookie year, he came in second in the Drivers' Championship, which in Formula One does not happen.
Yeah, he should. It shouldn't even be a debate. But the fact that F1 is making it a debate, it's not like the and y'all are gonna hate me for this, but it's not like the LeBron MJ debate where other people are talking about this. If you know F1, Lewis Hamilton is the greatest, and it's not Schumacher. It's really sad to see. I hope Lewis Hamilton comes back, and if he does come back, I hope he dominates and wins the Drivers' Championship this year. Again, there is a lot of young talent in F1, but there's nobody like Lewis Hamilton. So,
I mean, Lewis Hamilton is single-handedly the best driver. He has more single race wins. He has more podiums, more fastest laps, more. I believe he has a win percentage of races around 30%, where Michael's was like 24.
Yeah.
So, I mean, over a decade, he's winning 30% of the races he's in. He's the best F1 driver there is.
And as the podcast goes on throughout the year, we'll talk a little bit of F1. We're super excited for F1 to start. Avery got me into it, and he's teaching me more and more every day. So he really enjoys it. So that will definitely be a discussion. Last thing, and then we'll get to Superdawg, Underdog, and Dog of the Week. NBA real quick. The Grizzlies just set a franchise record. Thank you. You're right. I guess he's got a point.
Yeah, wrong.
The Grizzlies just set their franchise record for wins at 10 with a huge win against Golden State at home. I think the Grizzlies keep rolling. What do y'all think this is kind of like? Do you think this will die down, or do you think the Grizzlies are here to stay?
I think they're here to stay.
I think they're here to stay. They have a really elite young core. And they're hot.
Yeah. They're hot.
Yeah, what is it? 10-game win streak, right?
Yeah.
Well, it'll be 11. It'll be 11 after tomorrow night.
Yeah, they play the Timberwolves tomorrow night.
Hey, don't sleep on the Timberwolves.
No, do not. But
I'm just awake on the. I'm awake on the Grizzlies.
Game to watch for next week on MLK Day is the Grizzlies and the Bulls play next Monday.
You like that hitch?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
I just kind of wanted to mention them because we are from northern Mississippi. Memphis is the closest basketball team. I know we're not Memphis Grizzlies fans, but it should be mentioned for the people listening because they probably are Grizzlies fans. That they're really hot, they're really good. John Morant is an animal. Everybody on that team is contributing. Desmond Bane's having a breakout year. You love to see that. It's fun to watch the Grizzlies.
He made Steph Curry fall the other night, didn't he? Did y'all see that video?
No. I saw where he flexed on little kids, so did see that.
Yeah.
What a guy.
He was just locked in.
That was awesome.
Absolutely locked in.
Favorite segment that we love to do. I think everybody enjoys this. All right. We are going to go Underdog, Superdawg, and Dog of the Week. I will start off with my Underdog of the Week. Now, this one's kind of weird. This one's in the English Premier League. And I got to look at the odds. I want to look at the odds real quick because the odds are kind of weird. Soccer is kind of different. You do have games where both teams are, plus whatever. So I'm going off who has the shortest odds to win. But let me see if I can find it. One sec, boys. One sec. Okay, so Arsenal plays Tottenham on Sunday at 10:30. The odds for that one is Tottenham is plus 155. Arsenal is plus 188. I think Arsenal needs a big win. Tottenham has not played well against Arsenal and Chelsea together. Like when they play those two teams, they can't figure it out. I think Arsenal wins outright. I think they win like 3-1, 2-0. I think they have a good game. So I think Arsenal wins. They are my underdog of the week. Who wants to
I
go?
haven't even looked at these.
Pedigo, you ready? You want to go?
Yeah, I got it. So I'm gonna go. Just go ahead and go tomorrow night. I'm gonna go the Golden State Warriors against the Bucks. They're 2.5-point underdogs. So I'm gonna go the Warriors.
All right. I like that one. Is it in Milwaukee?
Yeah, it's in Milwaukee,
Okay.
but I'm still going Warriors.
Pretty good one. Avery, do you have one?
Underdog of the week.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be a little bold here, but I'm taking the Steelers. It's my underdog of the week.
Hey, I was gonna
Yes.
say
Yes.
them. I was gonna say them.
Ben Roethlisberger.
It's
Big Ben thought it would be plus 20.
It's only right that
It's-
Ben
it's
Roethlisberger wins this game.
It's most likely he's done after this season. He's going out there. He doesn't really care. He's going to go out there and have fun. And hey, who knows?
I
Might go out
think
there and
he's the
just-
only quarterback that can say that he can call himself the underdog and still go out there and win a game.
Yeah, he's just going to go out there and have fun. Just sling that rock
He's
around.
going to go out there hungover or hammered.
For sure.
Yeah.
A little bit of both.
All right.
He might still be a little
Hitch,
hammered.
you got one?
I like the Patriots on, I don't know if it's Saturday or Sunday. I think it's Saturday.
Saturday night.
I like the Patriots. They got the spread at +4. I honestly like the money line. I think they end up winning that game.
I
So
like that pick. I like that pick.
That too. Aben, you got one?
Yeah, I'm transitioning to college basketball, the Colorado and Arizona game. I'm taking Arizona's a 16-point favorite. I'm thinking Colorado's going to cover it. Arizona's missed the past 3 out of 4 games due to COVID issues. I think they're going to have a lot of players out, but I think Colorado's going to cover that 16-point spread. It's kind of large.
Yeah. Let's go. All right, Bond, last one. Who's your underdog of the week?
I got 2. I'm gonna roll with Hitch here, going with the Patriots +4. I think they win it as well. And then I'm also gonna go with State basketball team. Saturday, the spread's not known yet. It's probably gonna be like +18 State, and I think we come in there and kick Alabama's ass. I think we cover
Yeah.
though.
Bama's
Bama's like
they're
4 and
closer.
8. Bama's like 4 and 8 against the spread. We're 7 and 6 though. I think we cover at least.
That. All right, super dog of the week. I'm gonna go with. I've been bouncing between 2. I thought about going Bengals -5.5, but I'm not. I'm gonna go Cowboys -3.5. I think they covered the spread against the Niners at home on Sunday. I really think that this is they're not gonna lose in the first round this year. I think they win by 6 to 7. I think Dak goes down there, has fun, has a great game, feeds his guys, and they go out there, have a good game. And also, the defense is going to play really well. I also see a defensive touchdown in this game. So don't say I didn't tell you so. Pedigo, go ahead.
I'm going Joey B and the boys. That offense is just too hot. I don't think the Raiders will beat them.
I like it. Avery?
Which one are we doing?
Oh my God.
Superdawg.
Superdawg of the week.
Superdawg. Hey, sorry. I'm going Superdawg of the week. I just knocked my freaking out.
Shambles.
My bad. Landon went what's it called? He went Tottenham
Cowboys.
as his underdog. I'm going
Oh,
Arsenal with Bukayo Saka as my super dog of the week. If you look at Arsenal's like starting rotation, they have a ton of young guys. I just think Saka, he's become a real leader for this Arsenal squad. Just think he's going to go out there and hopefully push Arsenal above Tottenham. I know they just lost in the first round of the FA Cup a couple days ago, so they really need
FA
this
Cup
win to
don't
bounce
matter,
back.
brother. We know that.
I don't care. All losses matter, though. All losses matter.
Yeah.
But
Maybe
yeah,
all the Arsenal. Yeah. Okay. Who's next? Avon.
I'm a stroke, get your shaft for a second, and go Cowboys -3. I think Cardinals are going to be missing a lot of players, or not Cardinals, 49ers have a lot of players out due to injury or at least questionable. I think it's an easy 3 points. Cowboys going to cover that.
I think it's an easy 30.
All right, Hitch. Go ahead.
I'm not going to pick the Cowboys this week. That was just too obvious. I like the Rams against the Cardinals.
Okay.
I think Stafford finds his rhythm again.
I hope you're right. All right, Bond.
I got 3. 2 have already been said. Cowboys -3.5. Bengals -5.5. I don't think the 49ers stand a chance against the Cowboys. And I think the Bengals are one of the hottest teams right now. My third's going to be the Grizz -5.5 tomorrow against the Mavs. Mavs are doing decent. They just got a big win a few days ago, but then they just lost, I think, yesterday. But I think the Grizz are one of the hottest teams. So, yeah, I think they pull it out and probably win big.
All right. Dog of the week. It's my favorite segment of the week. Y'all better learn his name. He is amazing. He's been great for the Knicks. His name is Rowan Barrett Jr. RJ Barrett. Holy cow. Another 30-piece tonight. He's had 3 in the last 5 games. He's had 30 points. He's averaging 26 points a game this week. He's the reason we've even had a little bit of success. Dude's been a monster. He's been one of our biggest scorers. I can't stress enough how excited I am for him to go forward. Not a great rookie year, outstanding second year, and an even better third year. RJ Barrett's my dog of the week. Pedigo?
All right, so I'm going to go back to Saturday because I don't think we had one Sunday, right? We didn't do Dog of the Week Sunday, did we?
No, we didn't.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the Ole Miss and State game and go Matthew Morrell.
Say this shit, dude.
A career high 31 points, and it's probably a big win for this Ole Miss team that really needed it. So
10 for 11 from the field.
Yeah, shot really well. Big win for Ole Miss.
Probably the big reason we lost that game.
That was my dog fight of the week too. No, that was my underdog of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, you did. I should keep a stat for Superdawg and Underdogs of the week. I'll try to do that. All right, Avery, dog of the week.
My dog of the week is going to have to go to Mr. Memphis himself, J.A. Ja Morant. Absolutely.
Man, that's who I was going to go with.
Against the Warriors. 29 points, 8 assists, 5 rebounds, 11 for 23 from the field. Man was hot. He couldn't be stopped. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. Ja Morant. It's a name you're going to hear more often.
But Zion's better.
No. All right, Avon, go ahead.
I'm gonna go a little off. I'm gonna go a little off script here, but because of the news we found out today, my dog of the week is John Lesnar. I have to give it up. 3-time World Series champ and 5-time All-Star. Hell of a career. Hate to see him go in a Cardinals jersey.
That's weird.
Yeah. It is what it is.
It's weird.
But you got to pay your respect to one of the better pitchers in our lifetime.
Outside of like the Astros, I could not think of somebody that I would not want to end my career with more than the Cardinals.
John Lester, absolute minute, dude. One of the better southpaws we've seen. Yeah, I agree with David. One of the better southpaws we've seen in our lifetime. Made guys swing and miss. Awesome.
We'll always live in Cliff Lee's shadow.
All right.
I'm gonna go over there in Philly, old Joel Embiid. They just tied the franchise record for most consecutive 30-point games on the road. Dude's been carrying the Sixers even though they lost tonight. But he's keeping them in the race right now, so he's going to be mine.
All right, Bond, send us home. Dog of the week.
All right, I'm going to roll with Pedigo and go back to college basketball. I'm going to go with Paolo Banchero, power forward for Duke. Last 2 games, his last game, he put up 24 points, 5 boards, and 1 assist. The game before that, he put up 20 points, 7 boards, and 2 assists. Dude's on fire. Probably going to be the number 1 pick.
Yeah, needs it for Duke. Duke's got to run in the ACC, you know.
Yeah.
But I think Notre Dame got a big win tonight against Clemson.
Yeah, screw them.
Sorry, Pedigo. Yeah. All right, that's our show for the day.
Just honorable mention TJ Watt for tying the sack record, right? He did do that.
Yeah, because we wouldn't have talked about it yet. We didn't have Dog of the Week. So, yeah, I agree. All right, that is our episode for today. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching, whatever you did. Follow us on all our platforms. We got a ton of content coming out. We're dishing out content left and right. We're enjoying it. And I'm glad you guys are enjoying it. All right, boys. Tell them to go home. See you later.
Remember, if you ever feel like an underdog, Bryce Young is the highest rated quarterback to ever start at Alabama, and he feels like an underdog. So I think you'll be okay.
Random fact: you are more likely to be killed by a champagne cork than a poisonous spider. Love you guys.
Nice.
You're more likely to be killed by a cow than you are a shark.
Oh.